We went to a TED Trip conference, and he was there preaching, and a group of us went to lunch afterwards, and Steve started asking questions. And truthfully, in my heart, I've thought we've had so many conversations, I would just answer it and go back to the group and talk. And then he'd ask another question, and I'd answer it and go back to the group and talk. And finally, I clued in, and I said, we were on the way back now from lunch, going back to the conference, and I pulled him aside and we walked, and I said, what are you thinking right now? What's going on in your heart? And he started really looking soft and almost getting emotional. I said, are you desiring to give your life to Christ? And he goes, I am. I think so, yes. And I remember saying, hold on. And we were in the lobby, and I said, wait right here. I ran in and got Michelle.
I remember Steve telling Robert, don't be done with me yet. And so we were out there, and Steve had said he'd like to give his life to Christ. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is a dream. And we all prayed together. And again, I was so thankful to the Lord that he allowed me to be there.
Steve is incredibly faithful. If you ask Steve to do anything for you, he'll stop what he's doing and serve anybody at any time. He is the definition of what we would call a deacon. And it's most like Christ when you see him serve.
To go from a man whose neck was broken and felt he was Superman and could beat anything to now just a humble dependence on Jesus Christ is what I see routinely in his life.
I was so thankful that he was opening up, sharing his heart. We'd never had that before. He talked about the Bible. He talked about what he was learning.
Steve is humble. He recognizes his need for a Savior, not just for salvation, but sanctification. Steve continues to grow. He's been an incredible encouragement to the church as he's grown. That stubborn Steve, as it relates to spiritual things, is not there. Incredibly teachable, loves the Lord, loves his family, and incredibly humble.
God used that particular pride to turn it around to where he does talk about it. I think he's in a unique position, being with men for 24 hours to 72 hours, where he gets to know them. I don't think a lot of people have that opportunity in their workplace, but Steve does. He gets to know them.
Steve went from a prideful, stubborn man who felt he was good enough to be accepted to a man who's humbly dependent on his Lord and Savior, recognizing his sin and his need for a Savior.